What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at The Distance. I'm back, got another video for you guys. The direction I'm going with my channel between today, May 4th, and June 4th, or June 5th, I have probably a total of 50 videos going up in between now and then. So I'm pretty much going to get these predictions out of the way, and I'll return probably around July 17th-ish, and I'll be gone like June 5th to July, whatever. But I'm going to crank out a total of about 50 videos in between now and June the 4th. So this prediction is going to be for the matchup between Arthur Abraham and Andre Ward. Takes place on May the 14th, next week. It's going to be for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship for the Super 6 tournament. There's controversy coming into the match about neutral officials and stuff for the match, and it is been resolved. So matchup is going to put together Andre Ward, the champion, against the challenger Arthur Abraham. Arthur Abraham is coming off of a victory from back in like February. Kind of trying to get himself kind of back in the, keeping himself busy. After 2 straight losses to Andre Ward and Andre Dirrell and Carl Froch. One was a disqualification, and the other was a unanimous decision. In the match against Andre Dirrell kind of laid a bit of a blueprint of how to. And it kind of started with Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor, even though he knocked him out and he started to, and Taylor was starting to fade anyway. Taylor pretty much just kept his jab out there and incorporated movement and used his jab, and when Taylor stopped using his jab, that's when Arthur Abraham was able to start beginning to capitalize on it. And not only that, Jermaine Taylor was known for fading in fights. Andre Dirrell is a matchup that you can debate and argue whether or not Arthur Abraham was going to come in and knock out Dirrell eventually later in the fight, because Dirrell began to slow down a little bit, and Arthur Abraham was beginning to kind of close the gap, but that late hit cost him the matchup and cost him his O. Carl Froch used a little bit of both. Carl Froch used some movement and he boxed in the matchup. And I think that Arthur Abraham was expecting Carl Froch to come in and fight him, come forward and fight him, but he decided to box and use his jab a lot. And ended up winning the fight by just outboxing him, not standing in front of him. So these 3 fighters, and these are 3 straight fights since Arthur Abraham moved up to super middleweight, of fighters who have pretty much somewhat had his number. Other than Taylor, they've somewhat had his number, and they were able to expose little fallacies of Arthur Abraham through their boxing ability, and kind of show that Arthur Abraham was a little one-dimensional. Comes forward in that turtle shell, counters, and when he lands, he could put you out. That's just how he is. That's just his style of fighting, his technique. Andre Ward is a fighter that is much smarter than Andre Dirrell. Doesn't fade like a Jermaine Taylor, and is a little more interchangeable than Carl Froch. I think he has faster hand speed inside, and I think he uses his head a whole lot more than a Carl Froch. A Carl Froch who can kind of get left foot in the ring. So Andre Ward is just the type of fighter that that's very athletic, but he has very sound boxing ability, and it just seems to me that he's continuously getting better with each and every fight that he's in. He looked more so like a veteran against Saki Obika back November 27th. Looked great again. Looked very good against B-level Alan Green, who, as I mentioned, is the misfit of the tournament. I think Alan, and I didn't even do a post-fight review for Alan Green versus Glenn Johnson because I was a bit embarrassed of picking Alan Green. But Alan Green's a fucking idiot. If you look at that fight, when he got knocked out and he didn't get up, dumbass. Anyway, Andre Ward, is just a fighter that's getting better, and pound for pound, I think he's a top, at least a top 5 fighter pound for pound. You have to rate Andre Ward top 5 pound for pound. just because of how he's been able to handle opponents since, you know, stepping up in competition. When you step up as competition, he steps up in competition, but he steps up much better than he did in his previous fights, in his prior fights. So in this matchup against Arthur Abraham, Andre Ward does want to avoid the inside, but also he could, if he wanted to, take range away from Arthur Abraham. Take the range away, not stand in that mid-range, not stand within mid-range within Arthur Abraham's reach. If he takes if he's, you know, kind of standing in Arthur Abraham's reach, he could, you know, possibly get countered by Arthur Abraham. Using, you know, a lot of movement. You know, he's a switch hitter. He can change directions very well. I think the changing directions, because Arthur Abraham has to have his feet set to get, you know, full power in his punches. And Arthur Abraham is a little more agile than a lot of people give him credit for. But if Andre Ward can, you know, change directions, jab, move, use angles, create offense using angles, create offense using movement, he can very well take this matchup, because Arthur Abraham, you know, just kind of stands there, turtle shell, you know, and when he stands in that turtle shell, he stands in the turtle shell when you're throwing. When you stop throwing, he's looking for a counter shot, whether it be the left cross, the right cross, sometimes the right hook, or occasionally a left hook. Whatever it may be, Arthur Abraham waits for you to stop throwing. He kind of waits till you're not protecting yourself to get a shot in. So if he maintains, you know, movement from both directions, maintains a very fast pace, because I don't think Arthur Abraham can handle a fast-paced matchup, and, you know, just using angles, I think Andre Ward could just win this matchup just based on that, just based on boxing ability, based on athleticism, stuff like that. Arthur Abraham in this matchup, it's going to be it has to be a very complex matchup for Arthur Abraham. He's going to have to use a lot of complexity in his game in this one. Arthur Abraham, the thing with Arthur Abraham is, if you look at it, Arthur Abraham is at a stylistic advantage in a way. He's at a stylistic disadvantage. Excuse me. He's at a stylistic disadvantage. He's going against a young fighter who can box. He's very fast, very good hand speed, very athletic, and is continuously getting better in step. And as he steps up in competition, he looks better, as I just mentioned. Arthur Abraham in this matchup has to be a lot more aggressive. And the aggression has to be dictated more than likely off a jab. He's going to have to get out of his comfort zone. In this matchup, he has to dictate it off a jab. Let the jab dictate everything. Let the jab, you know, set up his shots. Something I've noticed with Arthur Abraham is a lot of the time he's standing in that turtle shell and he's looking for a power shot out of it. He's looking for a power shot counter. I think if he jabbed a little more, because he does walk, when he comes forward, he walks, and he doesn't necessarily walk down opponents the same way like a Kelly Pavlik would, but he tries to walk down opponents, but he uses the counter shot to set it up. He needs to set it up off of a jab. You know, maybe stand the turtle shell a little bit in this matchup, but like a lot of people say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but what he needs to try is setting up his power shots off the jab. Set up the power shots off the jab and move forward. Take away space from Ward. Have Ward retreat the entire matchup, and, you know, look for openings from countering Ward. So that's going to be very hard for Arthur Abraham in this matchup, but that's just worth the try. Arthur Abraham could very well win this matchup if he lands clean, and he needs to find a clean shot in between Andre Ward's punches, because he does throw a lot. And he's very agile and very skilled, and it's going to be very difficult for him. But it's all about finding the openings and following up his shots after he finds the openings, and he can very well take this matchup if he does that. In this matchup, I'm going to go with Andre Ward in this matchup. I'm going to go with Andre Ward because, as I mentioned, and this is the third time I'm mentioning it, he gets better with each and every fight. When you step up, and this is not necessarily a huge step up in competition, but, you know, this is a matchup where Ward can very well showcase himself. I think Ward can very well take this matchup on a unanimous decision. I think he's gonna outwork and outbox Abraham. But you know, and with Ward, you could just look at him and tell that he's gonna do something in the super middleweight division, because you know a lot of fighters that around his age and at his necessarily at his level, when they fight, you know, certain opposition, they fight down. But Ward steps up. You know, Ward is very smart, agile, quick, skilled. And now I got like I'm acting like I got Andre Ward fever, like I'm a Ward tart or something. But I just like Ward in this matchup. So anyway, guys, that was The Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.